Welcome back to the Midnight Library. Tonight, as your day gently fades into silence, we open a book that has shaped the very foundation of democracy and modern society. The Social Contract by Jean-Jacques Rousseau is not just a political treatise, it's a timeless reflection on human freedom, collective will, and the responsibilities we share when we live together. Here in the Midnight Library, we take great works of self-development, politics, philosophy, and spirituality, and gently transform them into soft, sleep-inducing stories. Designed for subconscious learning and quiet reflection, each episode helps you unwind while the wisdom of the world slowly settles into your dreams. So breathe deeply, let the past dissolve, and allow the words of Rousseau to flow gently through your imagination, reminding you that even the most complex ideas can be understood in stillness. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Birth of the Social Contract. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, writing in the 18th century, began his great work with a powerful sentence: "Man is born free, and everywhere he is in chains." This simple line captures the tension at the heart of modern life. How is it that we are born with natural liberty, yet find ourselves governed by rules, laws, and systems? Rousseau did not see this as a contradiction to be mourned, but as a puzzle to be solved. He believed the answer lay in a social contract, an agreement not forced, but chosen, a path where individuals could give up some freedoms in exchange for greater collective power and protection. To Rousseau, society isn't about giving up freedom, it's about reshaping it. In his view, true liberty isn't doing whatever you please, it's living under rules you help create. This idea is the foundation of democracy, and as you rest tonight, think of the social contract not just as a theory of politics, but as a quiet reminder that we are all authors of the world we live in. Chapter 2. From Instinct to Agreement. In nature, humans are driven by survival, by instinct. Rousseau believed that early human beings were solitary, peaceful, and guided mainly by self-preservation. But as people began to gather, to form tribes, and then communities, life changed. Agriculture, property, and inequality emerged, and with them, conflict. To live peacefully with others, Rousseau believed we needed a new way forward, something stronger than instinct, something more lasting than fear. And so he introduced the idea of a contract, one based not on force, but on mutual agreement. Each person agrees to join with others, not as slaves, but as citizens. In doing so, they form what Rousseau calls the general will, a collective voice that speaks for the common good. This is not the will of the majority or the loudest voice. It is the quiet consensus that arises when everyone considers not just themselves, but the whole. This, he says, is how freedom becomes shared, and how power becomes legitimate. It's a beautiful idea, and one that still echoes today. Real strength comes not from domination, but from consent. Chapter 3. Liberty and Law. What does it mean to be free? For Rousseau, freedom does not mean living without laws. It means living under laws you have a hand in shaping. In this view, obedience to a law you helped create is not a loss of liberty, but an expression of it. This is the heart of Rousseau's idea of moral freedom. We are not truly free, he says, if we are only chasing desires or obeying rulers. True freedom comes when we act according to our own reason, guided by conscience and the collective needs of the community. In this way, law becomes not a chain, but a compass, and the ideal society becomes one in which every citizen is both a ruler and a subject, both giver and receiver of law. This idea of reciprocal governance was radical in Rousseau's time, and yet
It quietly shapes the modern world. Each time we vote, each time we debate, each time we consider the greater good, we participate in the dream Rousseau laid down long ago.
Chapter 4. Sovereignty belongs to the people. A core belief in the social contract is that sovereignty, that is, the ultimate power, belongs not to kings or to institutions, but to the people. Rousseau argued that the general will can never be surrendered or represented by another. It must remain with the people, who are the only true authors of legitimate power. This means that any government, any leader, is only a servant of the people's will, not their master. It's a delicate balance. Governments can be helpful, necessary even, but only if they are accountable to the people and remain aligned with the general will. If they stray, the people have a right to correct the course. This idea would echo through history, in revolutions, in constitutions, and in every conversation about justice and leadership. As you rest tonight, reflect on this idea, that the true source of authority is always the community, and that every voice, including yours, is part of that chorus. Chapter 5. The Common Good and the Quiet. Power of Unity. At the heart of Rousseau's philosophy lies a tender truth. We are strongest when we act not for ourselves, but for each other. The common good is not the denial of self, it's the expansion of self, where your well-being is tied to the well-being of others. When we care for others, when we listen, when we compromise, we don't lose our identity. We affirm our humanity. Rousseau saw this clearly. The general will is not about uniformity, it's about unity. It requires listening, empathy, and humility. Not everyone will always agree, but when everyone commits to the process, something powerful emerges, a society built not on fear, but on trust. As you lie in stillness,